Are you ready to live your dream? Motivation, inspiration, and passion. That's what it takes to make dreams come true. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show. Our guests will share important tips, insights, and knowledge to help you fulfill your dreams of success. Here's your host, actress, author, entrepreneur, Nadia Sahari.
Oh, yes, here we are. It is a great day, a beautiful day. I have a very, very, very beautiful young guest today who's an author, and we're going to talk to her in a little bit. But as you know, I always have something to say, first of all. We all have dreams. We dream of being authors, being in a movie, being a famous singer, and having our own business. And those dreams are all achievable if we are passionate. And that's why I invite guests to come on my show to share their secrets, their journey, and their challenges, because we learn from them. And we find out how they did it and how they maintain it, if they fell and if they picked up. And believe me, we all fail and we all pick up. So we have a lot to learn. And today, my guest is an author. She is an author who wrote her memoir about growing up in an interracial household and then meeting her biological family. So I would love to introduce to you my guest today, Lora Keleher. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show. I'm so happy to have you.
So happy to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. Great show for you and for me. We're going to have great questions, and it's going to be amazing for everyone to hear. So let's talk about your first inspiration to be an author. When was that in your life?
Oh, I've wanted to write since I was a little kid. I've been writing since I was probably about 8 years old, when I had one of those Ramona Quimby diaries. They're those little diaries that girls can buy at the store. Yes. And fill out information about their hobbies and interests and age. And I was like, this is so cool. I want to do this.
Yeah, I remember those little diaries with the little locks and the little key. And you always lose the key because you have to hide it. Well, good. So that was when you were a little girl. And was there an influence in your life at the time to writing or to journaling as you did?
Well, my greatest influence was books, because I used to love to read books when I was a kid. And I know reading isn't so in vogue these days, but when I was a kid, I was always with a book. And just seeing the worlds that the authors created, seeing the stories they told, yes, it just inspired me. I was so inspired by everything I read.
Yes, and I have to agree with you. It's a sad situation for people not to be into books anymore. I love books. I'm like you. I've learned most of everything in my life from books and how to survive, how to be a victor instead of a victim. Let's talk about your book. What is the title of it, and what exactly is it about?
My book is called Voices from Across the Sea, and it's about my journey growing up, finding an identity, finding my biological family. Because as somebody who is Korean born and who grew up in the United States with a Caucasian family, it creates a little bit of friction. So that's what I wrote about. I wrote about what it was like to grow up in a community that was different than myself. Mm-hmm. And I wrote about what it was like to meet my biological family, to meet other people that looked like me, that acted like me. It was absolutely incredible. So the book is about those dual journeys and the journey of finding my family. So it's about two different journeys that I took.
So what process was it for you to take the journey to finding your biological family? Was that easy or difficult, or how did you do that?
It wasn't easy. What happened is a coworker of my father's actually visited Korea when I was 7, and he actually sent a man who was going there for the Olympics. And that man went to my orphanage, and instead of getting files, he discovered that I had a biological family still living there in the orphanage. So it was pretty shocking. And so I knew about them. And then it was a matter of deciding that I wanted to actually go visit them to try to also find my mother, that I was ready to learn about. At that time, I wasn't sure what I would learn about. So it was like, am I ready to do this? Am I ready to take that leap and go there and find out information that may or may not be something that I want to hear?
How old were you at that time?
So at the time when I went, I was 22.
And you were in Korea, not the United States.
Yep, I was in Korea. I was in Daegu.
And you got adopted in Korea and brought to the United States by an American family other than your biological family, correct?
Yep.
And you were how old when you were adopted?
I was about 2 when I was adopted, so I was pretty young.
Oh, yes.
And I've been living in an orphanage, and so I was really fortunate, which I guess ties into blessings. I'm very blessed because I got to come over to the United States and grow up here and have a really good life.
Yes, absolutely. So do you have a connection now with your biological family?
I don't currently have a connection with them, but I have really good memories of my time spent in Korea.
Well, the good news is that you discovered them, you saw them, you know who they are, and that brought some closure to you, didn't it?
Oh, most definitely. And they're wonderful people.
Yes, yes. But it's definitely closure for you to have seen them. I think it's much harder for children who have never found their biological parents or have seen them or know what they looked like. No pictures, no nothing, no trace of them anywhere. I think that's got to be really difficult.
That is so true. And that's part of why I wrote the book, is because I wanted it to inspire people who hadn't made that journey to decide to make that journey. That was a large part of why I wrote this particular book.
Right, right. I can understand that. And it definitely will help those that may need to find their biological. Now, I'm sure in the book you've written the steps that you went through and how you did it to find your biological family.
Well, what happened was I was really lucky in that the adoption agency did that for me. The
Oh,
adoption agency, it was Holt International, which is one of the biggest adoption agencies. They actually looked up the information and found her, my biological mother.
that's
So
great. Oh, that's
I was,
great.
yeah.
In Korea, they found her?
Yep, they found her in Korea.
Wow, that's amazing. And your father, your biological father, where is he?
He's no longer alive,
Oh,
so
okay. Did you get to see him or no?
no,
No.
he died before I was adopted.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay. Wow. So that kind of explains a little bit about why you were adopted out or put into an orphanage, because your mother must not have been able to take care of you financially.
yeah, it goes beyond that actually. They were farmers and women can't own property in Korea. They can now, but back then they couldn't. And so she had to give up all the land and all the farm and everything.
Hmm.
And so without having any of that, she had no way to support us.
Oh,
So it's pretty insane.
it is. That's sad. It's terrible how some countries do that to women and children. It's just ludicrous. It just makes me, I get disgusted when I hear that. I think it's horrible that they could just take anything away, and then the woman is forced to put her children in orphanage, or and then her husband's gone, or he either abandoned or died, or it's not good. It's just not good. But I'm glad it worked out well for you. And it sounds like, I saw your face and you have this beautiful smile, and I can tell that you're a beautiful person inside out, because, when you go through pain and hardship, I don't know, it just develops a great character because you felt the pain and you know how to really love because you've experienced so much pain in your life. And it just changes you, Don't you think so?
I completely agree. And it's actually something I wrote about in my book. That
Oh.
was that was mentioned in my book about pain and seeing the pain that my mother went through, my biological mother, my sisters, about the pain that I was going through. I discussed all of that and how it made me want the world to be a better place. I
Yes.
mean, just having dealt with a lot of different things in life, it makes me want to leave the world a better place than what I found it, as corny as that sounds.
No, it's not corny at all. And whatever we can do, even the littlest thing that we can do is something that might just help somebody else. Just that one little thing. We're going to take a short break and we're going to come back. So don't go away, Lora.
Get locked in to the Nadia Sahari Show and achieve your dreams today. Listen in at the NadiaSahariShow.com. Listen to some amazing people just like you find their way in life with great uplifting stories, problems they dealt with, and get to understand what makes them tick. It's the Nadia Sahari Show. Great interviews, touching feelings. Whatever talk you need, you're sure to find it right here at the Nadia Sahari Show. Grab it, do it, love it, and get excited today.
And we're back with Lora Keleher, author. What are you doing today? What are you married with children? How is your life today?
My life today is pretty awesome. I work for Apple and I'm also a screenwriter and I work on film productions as well. I live out in Los Angeles, so I've had the good fortune to be able to work on various projects and things like that. I have 2 pugs. Which are, if you haven't seen them, pretty awesome dogs. And one of them's a rescue from Korea. So I view her kind of like me. She was adopted from Korea too.
Oh.
So I think that is pretty awesome.
That is a little kinship there. Little kinship there. And that is cool. Well, so Korea today is a lot different than it was when you were in the orphanage, and I'm sure there's still an orphanage and many orphanages. They're all over the world, and unfortunately, there's too much of that, and a lot of, especially in third world countries where people lose their properties or their husband or their wife, and they have little children, and it's pretty sad, and it really is. But just like you have to, or they have to somehow, some way, be blessed somehow to have someone reach out and adopt them and give them a better life. And there are, and we are so fortunate to be in America because Americans are wonderful in that way that they go out to these countries and adopt children that pretty much will never, ever get adopted in their own country because the people don't have the means. Don't you believe that's true?
I think it's really true that a lot of people don't have the means to adopt children. And then in certain countries like Korea, they don't adopt children unless they look just like them and could pass off as their own biological children, which is, I think, kind of sad and funny at the same time.
Yes.
That they have that policy. So it's like being adopted from Korea. It's pretty much going to be someone in America or maybe somebody in Canada who adopts a child from Korea. There's not really going to be a lot of Koreans who adopt Korean children. So it's really awesome that people from this country are willing to adopt.
It is. It really is. There's nobody like Americans. So tell us, what valuable advice would you give the listeners? Let's say that they want to adopt, or they maybe know someone that needs to be adopted, or how would you tell someone to go forward with this? I know it's not easy. I know there's a lot of red tape, but I don't know. Go ahead.
I would say that it's going to be difficult emotionally to adopt a child from another country because they're going to come with their own issues. Like, for example, when I came to this country, I was like malnourished. So I had to get a lot of food.
Yes.
And that's pretty common because I know a lot of other adoptees. It's pretty common that when kids come from places like Korea, Vietnam, or countries in Asia, that they come here without enough food, basically.
Yes.
So to be ready for that kind of thing, and also there's going to be challenges if you're in a multiracial household because people wonder like why is that person being stolen? Is that person part of that same family? Like there's going to be those kind of questions that'll come up, and those are things that you might encounter if you adopt a child of a different race.
As there are things if you adopt an American child, because it all depends on what kind of upbringing they had the first year or two, if they came from a drug-addicted family or mental illness, or, the child is probably going to have those issues. So it's the way it is, and I guess you just have to, do the best you can and adopt a child. And if you take that responsibility, you have to be responsible for what problems you may have to encounter and deal with it and help the child, because the child isn't aware of what he or she is doing or what happened to them in most cases, and they need help. And you have to be a very strong person to be able to handle and to help that child that you're adopting.
Oh yeah, I mean, but I think there's just as many challenges having a natural born child as an adopted child. They're just different challenges. So.
That's right. Everything is a challenge. That's for sure. That's a very good point. It is true. Even your biologically born children have issues, and they're born with issues, or they become a problem in life, or things happen. There are influences. The environment has a lot to do with it as well. So, and the household, and there's a lot of factors that are into play about this. Well, so is there anything that you'd like to tell us that maybe we didn't touch?
I just want to say that it's a beautiful time of year, and I think everybody should celebrate and appreciate that there's all different types of people in this world, and we should honor that. We should honor that there are differences, that there's people from all over the world, and that diversity brings with it a lot of opportunities to know all different types of people, and to really get to see different perspectives and to learn about things that are outside of your immediate circle.
Yes, absolutely. It's so beautiful to learn about each culture. I love that. And knowing about the cultures is so beautiful. We all have a beautiful culture. We're all different, but we all are the same also. And we all want the same things in life, and we all want happiness, and we want love, and we want success. So I think it's wonderful. I think it's beautiful. And I thank you so much for being on this show today. Tell us how our audience can reach out to you, where they can buy your book, and anything else that we need to know about you.
Okay. Well, you are welcome to reach out to me. If you have any questions about my book, I'm on Facebook, and Twitter, and all the major social media sites. And if you are interested in buying my book, you can find it on Amazon.
Okay, and you have a website. And do you want to tell people how to spell your name? My website is exactly how you spell my name. LoraKeleher.com. Beautiful.
So that's exactly how you spell my name, and that's my website.
All right. Okay. Well, Lora, thank you so much. Did I pronounce your name correctly, Keleher?
You did. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Well, thank you for being on the Nadia Sahari Show. It was a pleasure. And you were my first interracial guest, and I'm happy to have had you on this show because I think it's important to make us aware of things, and we learn from everybody. We learn from everyone the do's and the don'ts and how and the not to do and doubts and don'ts, and it's wonderful because we all experience life in a different way, and knowledge is incredible. Thank you so much, Lora, for being on my show. I appreciate it so much. God bless you, and may you have great success with your book.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Nadia. God bless you and have a wonderful day.
I want to thank my guest, Lora Keleher, for being on the show. What a happy, beautiful smile she has, and I saw her picture. She's amazing, and I think it's wonderful that she's so sweet because of all the things that she's been through. That pain has brought her joy in finding her biological family. I think it's wonderful. We all glean from each other, and we all learn from each other. We all have to learn. We all need this knowledge of how to and what happened and why did it happen and how do we do it? How should we not do it? It's important. The passion, the perseverance is so important, so important. And she's successful, and many of my guests are successful, and almost every single one is, but not in a flash of a pan. They took the journey with conflict, but they made it. That's the key. So you never give up. So I say it's wonderful and beautiful, and thank you so much for listening to the Nadia Sahari Show and for sharing it and for giving me the 5-star reviews. Oh my goodness, it's wonderful. I'm so thrilled. And don't forget who you are and forget what you want to do. You deserve to live your dream like everyone else. We all are worthy. And it is by choice and not by chances that we change our circumstances. So thank you for being here and for supporting my show. And if you would like to sponsor it, I have a great package for you. Contact me at info@thenadiasaharishow.com, and I'll be happy to send you a proposal. So thank you so much. Tell everyone hello. Tell everyone to share. Tell everyone that we're on every platform that there is in this world. And this show has been going on for 10 years. So we have a great standing. God bless you all. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful week, a wonderful year. God bless you all.
Thanks for tuning in with Nadia and her guests. For more info, episodes, and connection, please visit our website, thenadiasaharishow.com. Share episodes with your friends. Follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Instagram, and most importantly, never give up. Live your dream.
Latin Connection magazine is a family magazine featuring people of influence, cultural events, and traditions, recipes and photos of Latin food, Hispanics in business. Plus, get news on Latin festivals, Latin entertainment, and Latinos in the fashion industry, and see photos of Latinos in action all over the U.S. Conoce tu vecino y mucho más. We invite you to share your special event with us at LatinConnectionMag.com. Latin Connection Magazine. Conexión Latina y mucho más. Latin Connection Magazine. It's for anyone and everyone to enjoy, no matter who you are.